All in the same tier.
All in the same tier.
But they all can't be number one.
No, they
Your
cannot.
number one linebacker in the year 2023 is
Daiyan Henley, Washington State,
Okay.
right? You know me. I do have a type, right? I am. And I love guys that can hit and are big more times than not. But, again, this is not that age in football anymore. And especially in this position. This is now really your prototypical every down middle linebacker. Daiyan Henley from Washington State, first off, has the body I love. I mean, he's just a rocked up muscle, right? Extremely explosive. And one of the first things I wrote down is, this is my kind of dude right here. You can see right away there's high level twitchiness, explosiveness in the athlete, right? Plays with a reckless physical abandon that that I just think is necessary. Again, when we talk about the top linebackers in football, they all have that. I know there's some other ones that are good and whatever else, and I'm going to go, ooh, what's missing from that guy? Well, he doesn't, like Roquan Smith and Fred Warner, right? This is who I think of. They see a hole, they run through it. They don't care if the Mack truck is there or if it's little Tweety Bird. They're going through it. They're going to go through it. And, oh, wait, there's a guard coming in. I don't even hesitate. I go and smash him. And I act like I'm the guy that's 100 pounds bigger. That, to me, is what's needed at the position. And that's what this guy has. He plays with more of a, reckless physical style, downhill style that I love, right? It was the best I saw. He's a ball hawk sideline to sideline. He can play between the tackles, too, for a smaller guy. Now, it's not perfect. Are there some plays you're going to see where he can't get off a block the way you'd like? Okay, sure. Yeah, there is some of that, right? But he does play. He can navigate through the trash, which is one like, and what I mean by that, Ahmed, is like, hey, it's like block down. Now there's a pulling guard, and he's kind of like, whoa, okay, wait, all right, wait, there's somebody tried to come up to the second level and get me. Okay, wait, now here's the guard. Oh, I can kind of get through him and still be in the hole and ready to make the tackle, right? So he can do that. He can kind of move and navigate through the blocking schemes to make the tackle, let alone can take on the box and do that. For 225, he's actually very good at that. I'm big into, can he shuffle down the side, sideline to sideline to stay in the gap, keep your shoulders square, right, to keep your gap integrity. I thought he was very good at that. His instincts, I found were really good. I thought he was a natural ball hawking, made for the NFL middle linebacker. I think really, again, some of the negative plays were maybe a little too over-aggressive or not getting off blocks or going like, oh, wait, I might have been able to run through the C gap. That's where I should be. But I thought my speed was good enough to kind of run through the B gap and catch him. Oh, I missed him, right? But those are things, again, that's teachable. That's learnable. I didn't have a problem with that. Obviously, I like the guy. And for his size, I said he rarely gets swallowed up. He's very impressive from that standpoint. And, you talk about matching up with backers out of the backfield or slot receivers or all that. That's the other part that you got to think about with these guys, right? Middle linebackers no longer, first off, look at his freaking body, right?
He did a backflip.
He's cut out of steel. You can see it on film. And that's the way you got to be at the position. But what was the point I was going to make? Oh, the slot receiver thing.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. And the fact that just think about, you're playing a zone coverage, and quarters is a real thing right now in the NFL, to where teams find these ways to get, the Hunter Renfrows or the Devontae Adams one-on-one against these middle linebackers, and they have all this room to operate. Well, you can't have Spielman in the middle against that anymore. Right. You can't. And sorry, as awesome as Spielman is, that wasn't his cup of tea. You're in trouble. So that's where you need a guy that, has a history of being an athlete, and he's super twitchy, and he has an incredible 10-yard split and top-end speed and all of that. So that's where I really loved him. And he's still learning the position.
Sure.
So that's where I just went, no, this guy he's a natural. He just got to keep playing it, and it'll even look more natural.
Yeah, there's a lot to go on there.
Yeah.
So, he does. You watch the tape, and he finds gaps. It's almost like that balance like you talked about with other positions. He has a balance and an ability to find the gaps, blitz.
Balance for sure. sure, right? You saw that, right? Where like people hit him and stuff, and you're like, oh, somebody's gonna block him and knock him on the ground there, and he
gets
stays
through.
up and then
Yes.
runs and makes a tackle.
Yep, able to pursue the running back or
I'm
the
big into
quarterback
that.
on a
Exactly
blitz.
right. Exactly.
So, but the size, and will he be a weak side linebacker instead of a strong size? So PFF says Henley won't be a take-on linebacker at his size. He's the kind of linebacker that excels with a free runway to ball carriers.
Sure.
And he definitely does that.
Definitely.
That pops on the tape. This is from Lance Zierlein at NFL.com, kind of mentioning what you said about sometimes he's maybe over-aggressive. With good speed and toughness, Henley's playing style can be described as more active than instinctive.
Sure. I think he's talking about like what I was talking about there with the shooting the gaps.
Yes.
You know, I think he's a little bit just like he sees it and he's like, let me just go. I'm going to go get him. I can get him. I run 4.5 and I'm fast. Let me just tackle him. And it's just like, oh, no, that wasn't the time to go. Just shuffle and stay in your gap here, right? But, you know, again, I didn't find it to be something where I was like, whoa, well, I got to drop him around. He went in the wrong gap here out of the 45 run plays. You know, he went in the wrong gap twice. Got to drop him around. No. Look, come on, those are easy things to fix, no doubt about it. I don't worry about that. And I think your point to that's what he is. He's the linebacker you want to be free to just go get the guy with the ball. When I was in Tampa, we had guys like Derek Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what he was. And just so everybody knows, I mean, Derek Brooks was like 228 pounds, 230, right around there, 6'1", 6'2", maybe. I think that 6'1", maybe 235, and he started to get a little older. So, yeah, he's going to be the 4-3 team that likes speed at linebacker, and that's where he'll deliver.
You're watching on Peacock or YouTube. His octagon is up right now. Very good in the 40-yard dash. Good 10-yard split, like you mentioned, Chris. Height, 14th percentile. Weight, 5th percentile. So he's just not that big guy, but he's physical. He's not afraid of contact.
Twitchy
and
and
he
explosive.
is quick, and he gets to the ball carrier.
That's right.
So he's also a pretty good dude. And he's a pretty good teammate from what we hear. So he was at Nevada.
Says.
He was at Nevada for a couple of years. He did transfer to Washington State. I think we showed his stats there too. Really took off. A lot of tackles for losses at Washington State. Kind of blossomed into the player who now could be the first linebacker off the board. But he's a good dude. And so Pete noted that his press conferences are must-see TV.
Right.
They were at Washington State. And so he's put together a montage of your number one linebacker's best moment in press conference.
Awesome.
How would you kind of pitch yourself? Like, when you talk to these guys, and what are your main selling points that you tell them? They're like, this is what I bring to the table.
Comic relief. Ball was coming, right? You know, obviously ball. So first thing I was thinking was ball. Like ball. And then this is real in depth right here. Second thought was catch it. You know? So I'm like, what happens if I don't catch it? Like my life is over. So I'm like, catch it. I'm a nice guy. Yeah, you believe me? Well, yeah, I'm lying. I talk some trash. I'm lying.
Daiyan, you look like you're in decent shape.
Decent?
Yeah.
My gosh, hide my muscles. I've been showing them for y'all. Read the shirt. Can I say read them and weep? Does that work for this? Or is that just cards? Bold. Yeah, no, you got it. Bold. I don't know. What does that say? Bound. Bold, bound. It was very mid. I mean, I could critique that right now, but I don't think that's... You know, the Black Adam, I mean, I'm expecting Dwayne to just give me a better performance than what he did. No offense, Dwayne, but you could do better. You get in that meeting room, and I swear it's like a sauna. So immediately it's like I'm sweating, but I don't want to say I'm sweating because I'm not sweating because of the questions. I'm just sweating because you guys got the heat up. Is that it? I appreciate you guys. Stay beautiful.
Oh. And some of those, if you're just listening, he's like in full shoulder pads. It's just right after a game, and he's already just like into
he's like, let's go do it right now.
comedy mode.
Yeah. Hey, you got to have that kind of personality. Middle linebacker, hey, quarterback of the defense, got to be a communicator. It's usually the leader of the football team, right? The other thing, you know me, I like him. I like him with edge. I do.
Yeah.
And you see, like he alluded to there in the little press conference, he talks. It's important to him. He's emotional. And I'm big into that. I really am. It more times than not shows up on films, and that's one of the few things I can glean a little bit as a personality thing here without meeting these guys, and I think that's another part of the reason I really like the kid overall.
He's your number one linebacker. You look at the consensus, he's maybe 3 or 4, but as we mentioned before, all these guys are kind of close together.
Sure,
so.
his size is some teams they're not going to like it. They're going to like and think he's a little small. Yeah, I think there's plenty of teams that are going to really like him. That's for sure. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Simms top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.